after I left Fit for It, there was about a year gap where I was concentrating more on online training. There wasn't really a lot of online coaches back then. I think there was a handful, but that's what I was doing to kind of get by. And all I knew is I wanted to open another gym. Every bit of money I was making, I was saving. I was putting just literally saving it. And I remember looking at a couple of different options, but I came to New Street here, and I remember walking into this place, and I was like, fucking hell, this is massive. And we'll put some pictures up of what it was looking like before, and you'll see that it's completely transformed. The process of getting this gym up and going was stressful. Firstly, when we tried to get the planning permission from Sheffield City Council, they rejected us about two or three times. So every time you reapply or you go back to them, they charge you again. Not for the reapplication, but for the challenge of why you want to change use from a storage, or I think it's class, whatever it is, I don't even know, to being able to be a health and fitness or leisure centre as such. And we finally got the nod, I think 2015, I think it was November 2015. And that was it. It was off. We were going, and everything we did had to be on such a tight budget. I remember pulling so many favours in from different friends, from like plasterers to boarders to plumbers to carpet fitters. Everything was down to a budget, because what I'd done is I'd spent all the money on the kit. Everything we got was like the best kit we could find at that point in time. And looking back at that, even now, like 8 years ago, it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, I think we've got 3 or 4 now, probably 5 bits of the original kit in this gym, and everything else has been sold on for better versions. But that whole process was a learning curve for me, massive learning curve. Budgeting, scheduling in the works, making sure that the deliveries came and we were spacing out the kit, and just the logistics of it. They sound so easy, but actually getting everything to work and just fit in nicely. I remember we actually got everything sorted, so we opened in December, and I remember that we wanted to try and get people through the doors, so we opened up early, and we literally just did like a couple of day passes through Christmas and the space between Christmas and New Year, and that's kind of where it catapulted, and it went from nothing all the way up to about 700-800 members. Not straight away, but over the next couple, 4 to 5 years, and everything was kind of running smoothly. And then we had the lockdowns, and I remember sat on the beach and looking at my phone, and I was like, "What are these people doing coming back wearing masks and gloves? Like, what the hell?" Come back to the UK, and next thing you know, we were told that we were shutting, and that was scary. I remember being on the phone to Dean quite a lot through these times, thinking what are we going to do? Luckily, we'd paid off some of the kit. Most were paid off quite a bit of the kit, and we had to take the bounce back loans. And I remember reopening and then going back into the lockdowns, and basically we went from about 800-900 members, probably about 1,000 members if they're cash payers, to about 250 members. That was it. At that point, I think I was putting my own money in to make sure we could keep everything open. And then I remember that someone mentioned that there was another gym going to be opening. And I was like, oh, Christ, what am I going to do? And I remember turning to Dean and I was like, right, it's shit or bust. We've either got to sell it, or we take out a loan. And this is obviously, this was during the lockdown. We've taken up another loan out and we just throw everything at it. Everything we've got, we throw at it. So I think we took out a total just over another £250,000. And I remember me and Dean stood up in the office and we were calculating when money came in, what we were spending out, when the monthly direct debits of like 200 people were coming in, when we got the VAT back, and we scheduled it down to the absolute like T, so precisely. And I remember Dean turning around to me and saying, what happens if we don't open? What happens if they extend the lockdown by another like week or so? And I was like, shit. I did think about it, but I didn't even let myself think about it because I just knew that'd scare me. And well, basically, if we didn't open exactly when we did, then it would have bankrupted me. It would have literally, if we didn't open that week, start getting the memberships back up, because the repayments on the loans, repayments on the new kit all started to come out, like literally after 2 weeks. And if we weren't able to make the payments, I didn't have any money. That was it. We were going to be shutting shop. So, talk about nervous. My actual hair started to fall out, and that's not even a lie. Asked my partner Brooke. She was there, looking at the bed that resembled something that a dog had slept in, because my hair was coming out. It was that stressed. And for everyone else looking in, they don't see that. They see the gym. They think everything just must be running smoothly, everything's good. They don't realise that the amount of sacrifice that went in over that lockdown, from myself, from Dean, obviously more on a financial level myself, but Dean put a lot of hours in here, making sure that, well, looking after me and making sure I went curled up into a ball in the corner, rocking away. Brooke was very supportive at that time as well. But the toll it takes on you, mentally and physically, doing something like that with that much stress on you, I can't even tell you how much it affected just everything, really. But the amount of relief that when everyone come back through the door and everyone was like, what has happened to this place is absolutely incredible. That's what I live for. I love the fact opening a gym to me. I don't. But if anyone knows me and Dean does more on the operations side of things. I kind of have the ideas about what we're going to do marketing wise, what new kit we're going to do. I look after the team and stuff like that. But for me, people coming into this gym and coming up to the staff and coming up to me and Dean and saying, "Look, this is the best gym in Sheffield," or whatever. And they come, they love it, they feel comfortable. They come and say, I've just had a great session, the staff are lovely, the gym's clean. That is what I absolutely, all that sacrifice, all that worry and upset and stress is worth it when people say to me, that this is probably one of the best gyms in Sheffield. That's all I ever set out. Didn't set out to be, the only thing I ever set out when I opened S20 Physique and now S20 Health and Fitness, I said I want to be the best gym in Sheffield. And now moving forwards, I just want to keep on growing this business and making sure that the standards are kept to the highest possible. It's not, for me, you can put as much kit in a gym as you want. You can buy kit. You can't buy an experience. You can't buy service. You can't buy atmosphere. They are made from the people who come to the gym and the staff.